Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Learn This Deck with the Dreaming Way Tarot. And yes, today we are on to the threes. The threes are a very interesting sort of stage in the whole, number as well as suit sort of progression, right? Let's have a quick look at what the numerology is about. Three, according to the LWB here, the three does not necessarily refer to the big accomplishments. In fact, it is like the first experience of completion. So, if you remember the sort of minor arcana, intro type video that I did a few days ago, what it said was what we looked into it was that there are three stages of completion: the 3, the 6, and the 9. So the 3 represents the first stage of completion. So this is where it's like, okay, it's more short term, it's more personal, it's on a smaller level, right? And it sort of consolidates the beginning aspect of this suit journey. So that's the feeling I've always gotten. So there's a lot more to that story after the 3, but the 3 is where, the beginning, the start, the initial stages are sort of consolidated and made strong. So if the 3 is strong, then the forward movement will definitely be better. So let's have a look at how this number manifests through the different suits of the minor arcana. Okay, now the suit of wands. Have a look at this picture. We've already seen the 3 of wands video, but let's have a quick look. This girl is standing on a road. There are 3 wands. She holds on to one. There's a meadow in the distance. There's even a rainbow in the sky. So it's like she's standing there. She's looking at what's out there. She's waiting for something. She's waiting to start. She's maybe come after a long walk. There's a whole lot of meanings you could ascribe to this 3 of wands, right? Like I said, it could indicate that she's waiting there for something, or she's waiting for a sign from the universe that good luck is on its way. Maybe that rainbow serves as such a sign, right? Or she's expecting good news. So that is the whole energy of the wands, because it's all passion, and it's like you've put things into motion and now you're like, how's it all going to turn out? That's the whole fire energy there, right? So what happens when this card becomes reversed? She's not patient anymore. She's too eager, and she can't wait for the outcome or for the news, right? Or she is not able to see that rainbow, see that sign from the universe that don't worry, it'll all work out. Or she realizes, or she feels that she is wasting her time, right? Or she actually does end up wasting her time, and maybe things aren't going so well or so smoothly for her. So 3 of wands in the reverse kind of makes you want to pause and sort of evaluate what you've done so far. So you might want to take a few steps back maybe, and set things right. That's kind of the stage with the 3 of wands reverse, because things really aren't going all that well. So maybe you need to really take a few steps back and evaluate what you need to do here. So what was my card story? Here I am. I've set things into motion. I've started implementing my plans. But now all I can do is stand and wait to see if things are working out the way I'd hoped. The only thing that gives me hope here is the rainbow. It is a sign from the universe that everything is as it should be. So that's the whole energy of the 3 of wands. It's like the rainbow is a good sign, so I'm going to hold on to it. And I'm going to wait and see how things are working out. Okay, that's the whole passionate sort of energy with the wands, where whatever she set into motion, now she's passionately waiting to see how things will turn out. So let's move on to swords. This is total air energy. This is all about the mind. And oh my god, just look at the gorgeousness of this picture. Yes, it's very stark, and what the content of the picture is not necessarily a happy story, but it is gorgeous. It's like autumn, or It's cold weather, there's brown leaves, it's kind of stark in the background with the forest and everything. And there's three swords, and they pretty much stuck into her heart, okay, his or her heart. And this person is just standing there, and it's not pretty. It is not pretty. And traditionally, this card shows, a picture with what, it's a very stark picture even in the traditional decks. It's just a heart and three swords stuck right through it. That picture, when it comes up in a reading, everybody's like, oh my God. Even the clients are like, oh my God. Because they don't need explanation. They don't need a translation of what that picture means, right? That picture is all about betrayal. It's about getting hurt, feeling hurt. It's about grief, pain, and sadness. It's all those three swords. Now let's see how it is. It's like, in terms of the numbers, right? The first sword is about truth. You bring in two swords of truth in the two of swords. And with the third one, you cut through all of that, and you have that sort of consolidation. It is going to hurt. This is the hurt and the pain and the suffering that the truth had promised, and here it is. This is how it kind of ends up in that way. So that is your three of swords. So what happens when this card becomes reversed? You can breathe easy, I would say. Either it means that you're discovering the betrayal before it happens, or you're dealing with the betrayal after it happens, okay? Because if you notice now, it is likely that those swords which have pierced the heart are now going to slowly maybe fall out, right? You're coming to terms with the pain and the hurt that was inflicted upon you, and you're letting go of all that sadness which came because of those experiences. So ultimately, the three of swords reversed can actually be a welcome picture compared to the previous upright picture. And this is where the beauty of the tarot really lies, that you cannot necessarily say that upright is always good or reverse is always good. It's always a mixed bag. It's always like some cards are better this way, some cards are better that way. Again, I'm not trying to be discriminating here, because all cards are good and all of that, but seriously, let's be honest here. When you see this card upside down, you're like, oh, thank God. Inside of you, isn't it? It's just inevitable. So what was my card story? It is the people who are close to you who will most certainly hurt you in the end. I trusted them, and that's how they got closer and closer to me, till they could finally stick their swords into my heart and give me all this pain. While it is my fault for trusting them, it is also their fault for being the treacherous creatures that they are. So even in that moment where she's being, because I don't see her crying, I don't see her lamenting, I'm just like seeing, like this woman or this person. Why do I say woman? Maybe because I could relate, I don't know. The point is, this person in this picture is not crying. The pain is there on her face, but that's about it. She's bearing it like it was some kind of deserved punishment. And when I got into her head, that was the feeling I got, that I trusted them, that is why I deserve this punishment. But that's it. She's not going too far, and she's not playing the martyr card. She's like, okay, my mistake was trusting them. That doesn't mean that they weren't treacherous creatures to begin with, those people who came and put the swords into me or betrayed me. So she's being very fair in her allocation of sort of blame while she's doing that. And that was an interesting insight. So let's breathe a little, and here we are at the Suit of Cups. And finally, we have three people who have gathered around, cups raised in hand, toasting each other, having a good time, maybe having a good chat, hanging out, talking, drinking, basically having a good time. So this card is all about going drinking with friends. It is about enjoying the company of friends. This is a group of people who are having a good time with each other, or you could even say this is an emotionally connected group because of all the cups energy, all the flowers in the background, and the cups with the polka dots, which I don't know, some people like polka dots. I'm a little 50-50 on the polka dots. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes I'm not so sure. Anyhow, so this is the Three of Cups. It's about partying, it's about hanging out with friends, and sometimes drinking. Most times drinking. But when you take this card and you reverse it, those cups are going to fall off from their hands, and this party isn't happening. They're either overdoing the drinking and the partying, or they're not able to enjoy the company of their friends, or they're not having really a good time with this group of friends, or this group has sort of emotionally disconnected from each other. Any and all of these combinations might happen when this card comes up reverse. Also, now I didn't get that feeling when I looked at this one here, but traditionally, or rather typically, when I do see the Three of Cups card, I also sense that just one of the persons, it could be the client because I'm reading for the client is not necessarily connecting with that group. So it's just that the one person from that whole group is distancing himself or herself from that group. So it's not the whole group disconnecting, it's just one person disconnecting. So that can also happen. So what was the card story? What a wonderful feeling. I raise my glass and cheer my good luck for having found such wonderful friends. These are the people with whom I can share my joys and sorrows, and they will stick by me through thick and thin. No matter how hard it gets, knowing that I have such friends in my life makes it that much more livable. So this card is a total antithesis, I would say, to the previous card, the Three of Swords, or maybe a precursor. She trusted this group of friends, she hung out with them, and then later on, we know what happens in the Three of Swords. Okay, that was a little too extreme, maybe in terms of storytelling, but it's been known to happen, So that's the Three of Cups. That was the story. Finally, let's go to the Pentacles and see what the card picture is like over here. And this is so different from the traditional Rider-Waite or Universal Weight picture. It took me a few moments to sort of get into it, but when I looked at the expression on the lady's face, and I looked at the coins falling from her hat, and she doesn't look overly concerned about the coins falling because maybe they're just not enough, or they're not worth it, or maybe she's just too look at the grumpy look on her face. And of course the background is your meadow and houses and everything, and she with her dress, maybe she works in one of those houses somewhere. So this is the meaning I got. There are small benefits for hard work. So she works hard, but she gets paid very less. But it is still slightly better off than what she was doing before. So, compared to her previous job where she was really paid very less, she's paid maybe a few pennies more or a few dollars more per hour, but it's not necessarily something awesome. It's better than before. That's about it. And she's not content with it, but she's not completely discontent either. She's just grumpy. She's like, I know I can do better. So it's one step up from before. That's about it. That's as far as she's gotten. Okay. So what happens when this card becomes reverse? Well, those coins are still going to fall off from her cap, aren't they? It's just that her world now becomes topsy-turvy, right? So even though there's a lot of hard work, the benefits aren't all that great, or she's unable to hold on to that job the new job that she has received, and she's basically pretty disenchanted with the job prospects. So even when she's trying this, even in the reverse, she's really trying to make her life better, to find a better job, to make better money, but the job prospects aren't necessarily looking up. That is your Three of Pentacles reversed here. But she's trying. The important part is to not give up. And that is what I keep telling my clients, that okay, maybe it's not a favorable period right now, but this card is going to turn up right someday. So keep looking. Don't stop looking. Because the moment you stop looking, a good opportunity may just pass you by. If you're continuously looking, even if it's a good or a bad opportunity, you are looking. It's aware. You are aware of what's going on. When you stop looking, something passes you by, and you're like, "Damn, I should have looked." So don't make space for regrets like that in your life. Right. So what was my card story? And I got into her head, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired. This is hard work." And yes, although it is better than the kind of work I used to do before, I still don't get paid well enough. I moved to this job so I could earn more and make my life better, but all I got in exchange was a few more coins than before. Well, it is a better situation than before. I know I can do so much better. So that was essentially the feeling I got when I was looking at the card picture, that she knows she can do better. She wants to do better. It's just that she's waiting for the right time. And she knows that she's come up one step than before. And she just wants things to happen faster. That can happen. That's the Three of Pentacles. So, what was your journal entry like? What were your keywords? What was your card story with all the threes of this deck? Go ahead, post a picture on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Use the hashtag Learn This Deck, hashtag threes, Minor Arcana, Dreaming Away Tarot, and put all this on the internet so that we can connect with each other and share our knowledge with each other, and together we can learn this deck. Okay, I will see you back again tomorrow with the fours. So in the meantime, be well and learn this deck. Bye now.